Okay, Casper, now you can come on over. Want to say hi? Come on this side. Yeah, come on up here. Now you come on. Oh, look at you, dirty. Look at how dirty you got. Yeah, you got a dirty dog. Well, it's wet and cold out here. We're gathering for coffee with Casper. We're waiting for everything to get live here. Here we go. Good boy, you are a dirty dog. Okay, go. Okay, no, come on. Casper. There we go. We're live. There we are live. We got it going on. Casper, down. Careful. Careful. Come on, over here. Come on this side. Come on up again. There you go. Oh, he loves to say hello. Good morning. We're gathering with coffee with Casper. Hey, from Idaho. Good morning from Oregon. Nice to see you this morning. Here we go. Here's the Casper boy. He's getting ready. Okay. Here we go. Good morning. Nice to see you. Let me know where you are. We're glad you're here this morning. Casper is here. The coffee is here. The rain fell. Goodly amount of rain fell. A good amount of rain fell here yesterday. It was all wet and muddy outside, but we decided since it was dry, it's not raining and the sun is out, and we're here to share this morning. Good morning from Arizona. Nice to see you this morning. Well, there it is, guys. Let me know where you are. It's 8:30. We're going to gong ourselves in. Nice to see you this morning. All righty, here we go. Let's everybody take a deep breath in. Allowing that resonance as we move into our heart to go out. One more time, big deep breath in and let out the sound ah. And let that energy rise up into your heart center. Relax the shoulders. And just give yourself this 20 minutes to be here present. Good morning from Northern California today. All right, we're glad you're here. Welcome to Coffee with Casper. I'm Harry Morgan Moses, and we are a gathering of light workers. And what we like you to do, if you enjoy any of the content today, we like you to do is share this anywhere you can electronically. Go to YouTube and like it. We should be broadcasting at YouTube at the same time. So we're up on YouTube, we're up on Facebook, and tell everybody about Coffee with Casper, and we'll keep connecting. Lightworkers, aloha from Eureka, California. Glad to see you this morning. Yay. All right, well, so we've already taken our breath. We're already moving into our heart center, and that's really what's up in the world right now, is this need to move out of our head and out of this idea of separation and into the idea of the interconnected unity of all life. And, of course, that's where we're at right now, is many people in the world are aware, millions are aware, millions are working, and millions are not. And the reality is it's not the light workers that need help. The light workers are already being able to contact, we call it uplinking, to know that I am one with the one, and to allow myself to feel that, to recognize that you are one with the one, that you are an ordained center of creation. And because of that, you can choose not to be sucked up into the outer manifestations of the world. And right now, the outer manifestations of the world, we can see the difference, and it's not a difference in separation, it's a difference in awareness. As we're spiraling up, somebody down low cannot see what somebody up higher can see, correct? So we're not about arrogance, it's not about being better than anybody else, it's simply about being aware of the I am that I am, and calling that awareness into my life. And that then allows that soul nature, that I am, that Christ consciousness, that Buddha awareness, that high self, to guide me. It's the Meister Eckhart's wonderful line, the soul has two faces. One is gazing at the glory of God, the other is directing the senses. And that personal direction in our senses comes from being able to listen to and hear that still small voice. Yes? Good morning. Let me know where you're on. Thank you, Ardelia, for sharing. That's nice. We're glad that you're sharing it wherever you can. That's a good deal. So today let's talk about really what we can do and how we can choose up. And again, that's that uplinking, so that that unique guidance that is there for me, that I may become aware of who and what I am and the glory of my true and eternal nature, and beginning to live from that place. Wouldn't that be wonderful? And so we choose up. If we choose down, we move into war, we move into separation, we move into fighting, we move into our lizard reflex. You know, we all emerged from the same muck as the planet was on fire and cooling off, and life forces began to move and moved into the reptiles, and then, you know, from the minerals into the reptiles, and from the reptiles into the animals, from the animals into finally the place of self-realization, or to know that I am a self. And that, of course, the difference between ourselves and the lizards and the animal is that we can think, and we can think about what we think about. And I think you see two major places in the world, one which is unfortunately filled with unnecessary suffering, which is the war in Ukraine. And we see that the aggressors are coming from that idea of fear and separation and loss of power, loss of self, loss of identity, and therefore reaching out to conquer and conquest and fight. And it's just an animal thing because we now know. I mean, scientifically, there's no question about it. Energy and matter are equal and interchangeable, and that the energy that is source is the place from which emerges all things, and that all things belong to the same thing. And again, we have borders and walls and race and color and creeds and all kinds of ways of being, of separating ourselves from each other and therefore from the whole. And of course that separation is egoic. It's not real. We created it in our own mind, and we forget who we are. And so I'd like to talk a little bit about the slap that was heard around the world, the slap between Will Smith and Chris Rock, and sort of what's been happening as that's unfolding. What we know is the call is peace, peace, peace. Hi, from Texas. Good to see you this morning. The call is peace, right? Let peace be within me, let peace be with the planet, let this be the moment now, and let me be the avenue through which that peace is moving into the world. So if we look at what happened, the idea of egoic separation, and the idea that the way to deal with the separateness between you and me is violence or physicality of any kind, is an old idea in human consciousness. Yes? It's not what's real. What's real is that we all belong together. What's real is love is supreme. What's real is we do not have to give away to those animal or lizard-like instincts, although we all have it. Every human being, because we emerge from the same place, has that opportunity to either fall into their animal nature, to fall into their separate nature, to fight from that separate nature, or to think and think about what we think about, to become more self-conscious, and then to realize the unity of all life. So if you look at that slap that was seen around the world, somebody got offended. Somebody took it personally. And they then reacted aggressively from that place. Now, since that time, we've seen Will Smith apologize. We saw him first apologize to the venue that he was in, and now we've seen, as the day progressed yesterday, we saw him apologize, of course, to the man that he struck out against. He apologized even to himself, meaning that he gave in to his animal nature and into his separateness, and he forgot who he was, and he struck out. Now imagine if that were happening in the world stage, and the aggressor in this war simply had a new vision, simply saw that he behaved in a way that does not promote the general well-being of the planet and therefore the earth, and therefore every nation. My good and your good will all come from the same place once we recognize and realize that we all have contact to the same creative capacity to lift above the idea of war and separation and violence and animal behavior and into a unity consciousness. And when we move into a unity consciousness, we start talking in a different way. We take a moment to step back from a situation. We took a moment to realize that not in every moment are we seeing things the same way. And we can step back, and then we can start to think about it, and then move away from our animal nature, even though, like when a dog gets in a fight, it gets agitated. It takes a while. Once all of those hairs get up and all that animal nature gets involved, it takes a while to calm it down, yes? And so that's what we saw after the slap. We saw attempts at making reconciliation. We saw attempts at forgiveness. And as the day progressed, we're moving further and further. And I'm sure those two gentlemen will find their path and a way to respect everybody. There was a lack of compassion. There was mistakes at every level, and the animal nature struck in, and it made a scene. It made a scene that was not good. And what we see is we don't like to see people that we honor and respect fall into their animal nature, and that causes us to withdraw. And so now you and I as light workers need to return to the page of forgiveness. We forgive the indiscretion that started it. We forgive the indiscretion that happened. And now that they are calling on forgiveness, we are using that power, because here's the great rule. And you all remember the great rule. The great rule is, as I forgive, so shall I be forgiven. So we do not want to be witnesses to these things in the world and then become judgmental and then become righteous and then become the ones who want to fight against the injustices. We can stand for justice. We can stand for truth. But to use war is not healthy for children and other living things. And we've known this for some time now. War is not healthy. War, whether it's a personal fight or whether it's a national war or an international fight, war is not healthy. And we now know, since we are all emerging from the same source, that we all have the same life within us, there is no reason to move into that kind of rage and that kind of upsetness. And yet we are all wired with that animal nature. And so when it happens, and we can finally take a breath and recover and pull back from it, that's when we can engage forgiveness. You and I can engage forgiveness in the world, so that somebody can apologize and change their mind about the course of action. Imagine on the world stage if people apologized and changed their mind about an aggressive course of action, and then moved to find solution through words and dialogue and patience and negotiations. And words and dialogue and patience and negotiations are difficult, particularly in the presence of our animal nature, which constantly wants to move into rage and upsetness and move out of our capacity to self-choose. And to hear that I am presence, which is always guiding us to a solution and to an answer. And sometimes we can't see the answer in any given moment, but the answer can be there. And if we can relax deep enough into our true nature, if we can fall into that I am presence and listen to it, and everybody has this presence. Not everybody is aware of it. That's the difference. So you and I, as light workers, are called to stretch our compassion, to open up our capacity to forgive, and to forgive the misdiscretions, and to aim at the I am nature of because we can't choose it for somebody else. We cannot choose it for somebody else. Everybody must choose it for themselves. But we can add light to everybody's indiscretion. We can add light to everybody's, the word that comes to me is ignorance. If they don't know, it's not because they're stupid, it's because they're unaware. So we can add light, the light of awareness, to the unaware. And the more we add the light of awareness, the more we are learning how to be super conscious lovers in the world, to use the actual power of love to bring peace, to bring balance, to bring harmony, and then from there to build each individual life in accord with their heart's desire, that we can create and bring forth a world that works for everyone. It's kind of like, how do you bring John Lennon's song Imagine into a form of the world? Imagine no more borders, no more fighting, no more wars. How would that be? And we are beginning to create the building blocks of moving in that direction. And the fundamental activity, the fundamental spiritual activity there, is the power of comprehensive divine love and the power of forgiveness, of returning to love, to cancel the demands and expectations and to return to love, so that the miscreations of humankind can be transmuted and transformed. And it's about time. And we know for sure, from the perspective of light workers, that war is not the answer. That fighting and violence is not the answer. That stealing from one another or robbing somebody of their good so you can get your good is not the answer. That is not how the universe, an infinite universe of infinite energy, can provide for itself through itself, because if we need the energy of cosmic forgiveness, we are the ones who must call it into play on Earth, in Earth, right now. We need the energy of comprehensive divine love, and we are the ones who can call it into the earth right now. We need the consciousness of peace, peace on earth and goodwill toward all humankind, and we can call it into existence right now. And we need to step away from the external events of the world, to contact that I am presence within there, to ask for the guidance of how I may be a beacon of light and love and truth in the world, that I may do my part to help bring forth an awakened world. That's what light workers do. Light workers are simply, every day, in the most humble of ways, seeking to intune themselves to the infinite, so that they can hear the guidance of on high and bring that guidance into our daily lives, into the lives of everyone we touch, of everyone we know, and be an instrument and avenue through which cosmic love and cosmic forgiveness is working. My I am presence is handling all imperfections perfectly. My I am presence is handling all imperfections perfectly. And by means of showing up in that light, we become the place where you are transfiguring and transmuting. Let me know where we are. We got South Carolina, we got Arizona, we got Texas, we got California, we got Northern California, we got Southern California, you're all over the place. Lightworkers are everywhere. You're awesome. And what we're doing in the world is awesome. And this is our chance to be an avenue which we accept to being the place where love comes forth into this sweet planet, onto the earth, and into human interactions. We become the place where forgiveness and cosmic forgiveness is coming from us because we are raising the level of our as I forgive, I am forgiven, and I am the avenue through which a greater light and a greater love can happen. This is ours to do, to recognize that we have the right to pay attention to who we are being at every moment, to choose to become more soulful, more in tune, more alive, more awake and aware, more guided by the very I am presence that is the gift of God to me and through me, and is in fact my true and eternal nature. Who you are is something powerful. What you do can make a huge difference in the world. What is needed is love and forgiveness. And forgiveness enables us to return to love at a higher level. So let us know that wherever brotherhood, brother against brother, woman, sister against sister, or any combination thereof, that we have a right to be the place of peace, that we have a right to transform and transcend the situation and transfigure it into a higher order of love and a higher order of being. We celebrate the victory of Coda, knowing that every person, no matter their abilities or disabilities, no matter their race, color, creed, or way of being, every person deserves the gift of the cosmic love that is their true and eternal nature. And we can be an avenue through which we help others have it revealed to themselves. Each must do it for themselves, but we can be in support. So pay attention to how you are being in the world. Pay attention to every moment to your words, thoughts, and actions. And if you fall into your animal nature, forgive yourself and rise up. Forgive yourself and rise up. Forgive them and rise up. Choose up. We are choosing up. We are choosing solution. We are choosing peace on earth and goodwill toward all humankind. You're watching Coffee with Casper. I'm Harry Morgan Moses. We'll be back next week to share 20 minutes of how we might use the day-to-day circumstances and situations in our lives to call us up, that we may bring more light and more love into our lives, into the lives of all who touch our lives, and to the entire human experience than we've ever brought before. Thank you for being who you are. Thank you for tuning in. Share the word about Coffee with Casper, and we'll see you next week, right here on Coffee with Casper. Come on, Casper, come on up to this side. Say goodbye to everybody. Come on up, come on up. Oh, he's a dirty dog playing in the mud and the dirt. It's been a beautiful day here in California. We trust wherever you are in your life, you're experiencing a beautiful day. Bye for now, and we'll see you next week.